Welcome to week one. I'd like to start with just mentioning the overview that's in every weekly module. And it's a great place to start so that you can plan your week. And right down here in the below the paragraph, there are the learning outcomes, and there's also your to-do list, discussion questions, and assignments. So everything is right here on this one page, and it's a helpful place to start so that you know what to plan for the week. So if we move over here to the discussion, this week you're going to talk about verbal and nonverbal communication and interpersonal relationships. So there's basically 4 things that you're going to want to cover in this discussion. So first, you'll give an example of 3 verbal communications that people use, and then 3 examples of nonverbal communications. The third thing you'll do is describe the characteristics of a good listener. And fourth, describe how good communication skills can help build trust and good relationships with others. So those are the basics. Now, if you take a look over here at the rubric, which I recommend looking at the rubric before you start every discussion and assignment, and after you complete it, but before you submit it, then you can grade yourself using the rubric and see if you've done the work to get the grade that you want to get. And if you have any questions about that at any time, just let me know. I'm more than happy to answer any questions or help you along. So as you look at the discussion rubric, you'll see that there's those verbal and nonverbal communication examples that we talked about. And if you just list them and list 3 examples of each, that would be pretty basic. You'd be covering it, and you would do a good job, and that would be proficient. So if you wanted to get proficient, just list it and you're good and done. But if you want to do a little better and get mastery or exemplary, then you discuss it more and you get more into the details of how these skills are used, how they apply to healthcare. You bring in research, and you have more of a conversation about it. So that's how you move up from proficient to mastery or exemplary. And the same goes for this next section of the rubric here with interpersonal relationships and communication skills. So take a look at this section here on research. It's a full 10 points of your grade out of 50 points. And so you'll need to use multiple sources and relate it to your topic. Use it to support what you're talking about each week. So this isn't just for this one discussion this week, but for all your discussions. Bring in research that supports it. And it's okay to use some of the research from the readings and videos that are provided this week, but also look for some outside sources. And that's, again, where you would move on to exemplary. If you're using 3 or more sources, you're getting them from outside sources and having an extensive discussion that supports and encourages more conversation in the discussion. And if you need help with any of this, again, just let me know. Writing counts for 5 points, so be careful of grammar and spelling errors. Use spell check, Grammarly. Feel free to contact the Baypath Writing Tutor online, which is a free service, and have them look over your post before you submit it. If you're someone that has a hard time with writing skills, you could also have family or friends take a look at it and give you some feedback before you submit. As far as getting exemplary on peer response, this is critical to the discussion. Because if you put a post out there and no one replies, it's not much of a discussion, it's just your opinion. So we really need to answer each other and interact and have a good discussion. That's the whole idea. So if you reply to more than 3 peers, then you will get exemplary. But that being said, a reply is not, hey, great job, or good work, I like what you said. It's deeper than that. It's a more detailed discussion. You could bring in research again. It's developing and encouraging a deeper discussion and supporting the topic. So I hope that's helpful in helping you get the grade you want on the discussion. And we'll move over here to the assignment. This week's assignment is really kind of a fun assignment. You're going to create a cultural health teaching plan. So the way this will work is you will do a little research on your own and create a teaching plan that talks about a health issue that you're going to teach to a client in the community with a culture different from your own. So the example here is creating a teaching plan for a diabetic patient that is Hispanic, if you weren't Hispanic. So you're going to talk about how miscommunication or failure to understand the cultural differences and incorporate them into that teaching plan could cause the plan to fail and the patient to not follow through, and it wouldn't be effective anymore. So you're going to talk about that, bring in the research to support it, and then talk a little more about the cultural needs and how you can best meet them. When you write this assignment, it should be a full 2 to 3 pages, and that's just the teaching plan, the content. In addition to the 2 to 3 pages, you should also have an APA format cover page and a reference page. And any of your research should have in-text citations, because otherwise you're not really using the research if you're not using in-text citations with it. So if you have any questions on that, in my first announcement, there were some links I included that have examples of in-text citations, examples of a reference page. And if you just want to go straight to it, you could also search for each of those things on Purdue OWL, and Purdue OWL is a huge help. Once again, if you need the BayPath writing tutor, they could also help you with APA format or any writing or challenges you have with this paper. So I hope that helps, and that's really all it is for this week. I hope you have a great first week. And like I said, if you have any questions, please email me.